Hey, 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 I'm your ordinary Alfred.
Hey there, Alfred here. Today we have a build called the Guillotine. A guillotine was a device used for executions by beheading. It was invented in the late 1700s to supposedly make executions more humane. It would cleanly and swiftly decapitate condemned criminals, sparing them from a painful and torturous death. The device has a heavy-angled blade suspended at the top of a tall wooden frame. The condemned person is secured at the bottom of the frame in such a way that it exposes the back of the neck directly below the blade. Once the blade is released, it should cleanly sever the condemned person's head in one swift pass. I can't exactly explain my thought process and why I chose this name. The weapon is called Midnight Shredder, and it looks like an axe that's likely used for executions. At first, I was contemplating beheader or decapitator, but it just didn't feel right. Then I remembered the guillotine, and for some reason, it resonated. Well, enough about that, let's get into the build. We're using the Midnight Shredder, which is a faith-based great axe. For the armor, we're using the dark leather armor set. Kinda looks like how executioners are portrayed in popular culture. This armor set is obtained by crafting. The blueprint is sometimes sold by Greenwich or Finley. It could also be obtained as loot or as a reward in clearing outbreak zones. However, using any leather armor is sufficient as well. On the weapon, we put in the Black Pearl Gem to increase healing. On the enchantments, these three are the most important. Increase charge attack damage, gain health on charge attack, and increase stamina recovery. If you can't roll increased charge attack damage, increased attack speed based on durability is also a good one. It will make the charge attacks quicker. Gain health on charge attacks is absolutely necessary. It's our primary way to regain health without consuming food items. We need stamina recovery as well, as this weapon consumes a lot of stamina. Movement speed increase after rune attacks. This can be replaced with other enchantments like gain health after backstab, which should help when fighting normal enemies. Drain health in combat for the downside. Lose focus on damage taken is a good alternative to this. On the headgear, we also have the Black Pearl Gem for more healing. Stamina recovery and reduced damage taken are the most important enchantments. Focus cost decreased at low health and gain health equal to a percentage of focus spent are useful but can be swapped out with other enchantments. Drain health in combat on the downside. On the body armor, still more healing, increased focus gain, increased stamina recovery, and decreased damage taken while charging are the ones that are necessary. Max health increased by a percentage of max focus is good, but can be replaced by deal damage on damage taken. Drain health on the downside once more. On the pants, more healing with the Black Pearl Gem. All four positive enchantments, increased focus gain, decreased stamina cost at low focus, decreased damage taken, and movement speed increase after charge attacks are all very important for this build. Drain health in combat on the downside. On the gloves, increased healing with infused Black Pearl Gem. Increased physical damage, increased focus gain, and damage taken decrease are the most useful ones. Gain health on parry. This is certainly useful, but if you're not the parrying type, healing increase based on durability, or stamina recovery based on durability are both good options to replace this one. Same with the others, drain health in combat on the downside. Going to the rings and attributes, we have two setups. The first is my recommended setup, but it utilizes the Scarlet Ring, which can be hard to obtain. The second setup comprises of rings that are much more accessible. The points distribution for the attributes is dependent on which setup you prefer. Okay, on to setup 1. The Scarlet Ring and the Band of Calmness are the ones that are truly necessary. The Scarlet Ring swaps max health and max focus, and the Band of Calmness increases both max focus and focus gain. On the third ring, for me it usually depends on the situation. The Ring of Serendipity is for higher healing, which helps a lot with survivability. The Stone Tusk Ring increases our armor and is useful for fighting bosses and enemies that use a lot of physical attacks. The Ring of Broken Promises increases our damage dealt, but has a downside of increased damage taken as well. My favorite is the Willow Cap Ring. which increases our overall speed. This means faster charging times for our charge attacks. I usually change the third ring depending on the challenges that I'm anticipating. Like for example the Echo Knight, his attacks are usually unrelenting, leaving little space to get a combo in, so the Willow Cap ring is my preferred ring in fighting him. For bosses that you are very familiar with, the Ring of Broken Promises is great for increased damage. Annora's Shadow or Faulted Darak mostly uses physical attacks, so the Stone Tusk ring is very useful for him. So for the third ring, it depends mostly on what you prefer and how you want to play. On the attributes for this first setup, 19 on health, which will give us 201 focus points. This is the effect of the Scarlet Ring, swapping max health and max focus. 15 on stamina for 70 stamina points. 42 on faith to meet the minimum weapon requirements. 43 on focus, which gives us a whopping 705 hit points. And 229 focus gain due to the Scarlet Ring and the Band of Calmness. This is why those two rings are necessary for this setup. 18 on equip load to be at the normal weight category. Here on the second setup, my recommended rings are the Stone Tusk ring, the Willow Cap ring, and the Ring of Broken Promises. If you are having trouble with stamina management, the Agility ring and the Crow ring can replace any of the three. As for the attributes, 50 on health for 450 hit points, 15 on stamina for 76 stamina points, 42 on faith, and 18 on equip load to be at normal weight. This setup is not as powerful as the first one, but it still works. We still have a lot of survivability with 450 hit points, and the attack power is still there, just with a lesser frequency of rune attacks. On the playstyle, basically we maximize the use of charge attacks, as this gains us health and focus. Since we have enchantments that are dependent on low focus, once we have enough focus, we unleash rune attacks right away. That's basically the playstyle loop. Keep using charge attacks to gain us health and focus, and unleash rune attacks to keep our focus mostly at the minimum. That's it for the build. Next are the boss fights. We have the 7 major bosses which are available in the game. All the battles are set in the Path of the Unspoken at the maximum outbreak level. If you guys have questions or feedback, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll make sure to respond to every single one. Also, if you made it this far, please consider subscribing. Let's grow this community together. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.